Now let's go to economics, or perhaps a perceived lack thereof. Have a look at this tweet yesterday from Stephen Koukoulas. Now, he's decrying the lack of economics analysis on ABC's Insiders program. Koukoulas is an economist, and as a former economics advisor to Julia Gillard, he wears some responsibility for the nation's difficult budgetary and economic situation. But his observation is fair enough. The sluggish economy and efforts to enliven it ought to be close to the centre of political discussions at the moment. But what about this response from Canberra Press Gallery veteran Paul Bongiorno, formerly of Channel 10? Bonge reckons the economy is not on the mainstream media agenda, and that's largely because newspapers set the agenda and they are defenders of the coalition, especially at The Australian, my newspaper. Now, I don't know if Bonge actually reads the papers, but he certainly doesn't seem to absorb much. Here's The Australian last Thursday talking about the Reserve Bank's warnings on the economy and how more rate cuts might be needed to kick it along. And in the same edition, here's an opinion piece by Labor's Shadow Treasurer Jim Chalmers explaining his concerns about the economy. Then here's the Oz the next day, focusing on the jobless figures and worrying signs in the economy. Or we could have a quick look at the front pages last week and we can see the Prime Minister, the prime position given to splashes on the Queensland budget and the feared economic impact in the resources sector of a surprise tax hike on gas. There were also splashes on what energy policy decisions might be needed to guarantee passage of the tax cuts designed to provide economic stimulus. And so it went on. To suggest the Australian newspaper, of all papers, ignores the economy and all the reform agendas that impact on it is truly absurd. And then to suggest it does so the month after an election to further a partisan agenda is truly delusional. But what really takes the cake here is that you have a Labor-aligned economist criticising the ABC Insiders program for a lack of focus on the economy, and Bongiorno is so jaundiced that he blames The Australian. If only we knew how easy it was to control the ABC's agenda.